This is The Becoming, a podcast about the sacred and powerful journey of awakening and becoming who you truly are.
We're your hosts, Kate and Judy Moon. As a mother-daughter duo with many years of experience in coaching and personal transformation and lifetimes of wisdom between us, together we explore what it truly means to come alive, living with deeper meaning and purpose, breaking generational chains, reclaiming freedom, and guiding the soul's return to wholeness.
Through soulful conversations about healing, transformation, and the power of MDMA-assisted therapy, along with raw, behind-the-scenes reflections and insights that illuminate the path forward, we invite you into a journey that's not just about healing your past. It's about breaking through the invisible barriers that have kept you stuck and finally stepping into the life you've always known you were meant for.
Whether you're in the middle of a heartbreak, an awakening, a breakdown, or a breakthrough, you're not alone. This is The Becoming.
Hello and welcome back to The Becoming with Kate and Judy. Today, we are coming to you with another episode of Q&A with K&J upon popular request.
We decided to have some fun today.
And honestly, our previous Q&A was our most downloaded episode so far.
Crazy.
And we got a lot of people saying how much fun it was. And this is definitely, the two of us really love to have fun. That's probably one of the best parts of our relationship is actually how much fun we do have. Like, we just laugh constantly together. Yeah.
Even when we're crying, we're laughing.
Well, even when things are pretty rough.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so what do we have to?
All right. So we have a handful of questions that we asked the audience. And so we compiled a little list here. All right, Jude. So this is a good one. I like this one. What's a boundary you used to feel guilty about that now feels like self-respect or that feels like a given?
I think I was trained to overfunction for people.
Oh.
And I think
two X chromosomes by any chance?
like kind of a typical woman, right?
This is a topic we talk about with our clients a lot.
Yeah.
The majority of our clients are women.
Yeah.
So this feels very appropriate.
I would say maybe not easy, but it's an absolute given.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not overfunctioning for other people.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not overfunctioning for, and I think this is really typical, Kate, for women.
Yes.
And I think we probably, learned it. I could say I probably learned it from watching my own mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cultural. It begins, it's cultural. It's also called the patriarchy.
It is.
Yeah. And so little girls grow up watching women overfunction for the entire family.
Everyone around them.
Handle all the shit that's handed to, within a family.
Right.
Taking care of the man in the family.
Mm-hmm.
I watched my mom do that. And, my father worked, quote unquote, so hard for us. And she stayed home with the kids. She was a stay-at-home mom. And, of course, that was back in I was born in 1953. So, yeah. So she handled a lot of things. And, there was always the joke that, that she ate the broken egg. Well, I no longer am eating broken eggs. And simply, though, I think it's also overfunctioning in relationships with friends.
Yeah.
I have found myself to be naturally a good listener, and I really like to connect with people in that way, and I always have. And so I feel like I've overfunctioned in a relationship where I've been very open to friends, sharing all of their needs and all of their problems. And I know I'm naturally that's how I connect with people.
You are Judy Moon, and you are very emotive. You are a very compassionate listener, and
I really care.
You really do. And I always grew up with you and witnessed you jumping in to help people.
Yeah.
very naturally. And I think that there can be one side of that coin that's a really beautiful thing. It's part of what makes you such an incredible coach. I mean, something that I have always felt and that I have said to people is like, if you actually have if you are given the gift to be on the receiving end of like a coaching experience with Judy Moon, like she's really, really powerful on the other side of that because something that we say a lot in our coaching
Mhm.
experiences with people is like hard on the paradigm, but soft on the person. So, you really take a stand for people's greatness.
I
And
do.
when they are in hiding, when they don't see it for themselves, like you take such a stand for people. And it's such a beautiful thing. Also, because so many people have never received that before. Like no one has ever believed in them at that level.
Mhm.
And it's unfamiliar for them. And they actually don't even see that in themselves yet. But you hold that. Like you hold a frequency with people that's really powerful.
I believe in people's greatness, and I actually call them to greatness. I
You
challenge that.
do. And you always have, like, I'm thinking back to these relationships that you've had over the years
Mhm.
where I've seen you step in. I think there can be, like, it's been a really amazing gift that you give to people, but also, in those contexts, too much. Overfunctioning when they weren't it's like they're not stepping in to do it for themselves.
Well, and not only that, it's not reciprocal.
Right.
Like, I don't have to be everybody's coach. My best friend, I don't necessarily have to be, like, over functioning, taking on their problems always.
That's
Like,
why you do it in
friendship
a career, that's great. That there's an
exactly.
energy exchange that makes sense there.
There's an energy exchange that makes sense, but I think what I've done in the past, because I have this desire to be of support, is I have stepped in perhaps too much and not received
Mm.
on the other end that reciprocal. And I think at this point in my life, I really want to connect in a reciprocal way with people.
I think one of the boundaries that I see you have that's so much clearer now is about an energy exchange and that you're not willing to step in for people when it's not an even exchange.
Yeah. And when they actually are not doing the work themselves.
Mhm.
And it's not in
You
a
can't want it more for them.
no, I can't, and it's not in a like a in a withholding way, or it's just in actually a self-care way for me
It's
that
healthy now.
it's healthy. It's a healthy exchange because it's like literally handing it back to them in a sense, energetically, like, "I believe in you, and this is actually for you to work through yourself.
Yeah,
You've gotta do your own work. I can't hand it to you on a silver platter,
yeah,
even though I maybe really could, no, but I can't
yeah,
because the work ultimately is one's own self. We can be there to be supportive,
totally.
but when there's too much of an energy output, it's out of
An
balance,
unbalance, yeah.
and that's just not healthy. It's not a healthy relationship.
You know what I think is really important to recognize in this dynamic of overfunctioning as a human being for other people, and it's often, again, more women,
Mhm.
that we have societally been expected to overfunction for people, and we're actually kind of demonized when we don't, is the truth of it. But I think that if we look at this actually from a trauma-informed lens, that when we haven't felt wanted, we find a way to be needed.
Oh, totally, totally. So so then underneath my desire to be of service is something that I'm trying to fill that desire to be needed or wanted,
Exactly.
and if I'm needed, then I have self-esteem. I'm worthy.
Exactly.
Like, somebody needs me.
Exactly.
So, those are the little sneaky details
It's
of this
actually
over-functioning thing. It's like, okay, so maybe I'm not necessarily wanted, but boy, if I can keep you hooked in by needing me.
so maybe it's not so altruistic. It's
Well,
not just like, "I'm
exactly.
just so giving.
I'm just so I'm like,
I'm
so
just so
amazing.
available."
I know.
It's like we actually see the dark side of it where because I relate to
It's
all of this too.
and it's totally unhealthy.
It's
So
totally
so
unhealthy.
so what about you, Kate?
I relate to every part of this, aside from the fact that I haven't had marriages.
Mhm.
I feel like I have overfunctioned for men that I've been in relationships. I have overfunctioned for friends. I've overfunctioned for clients, actually.
Oh, yeah.
This has been definitely a big part of my evolution
Mhm,
inside of our work is
mhm.
to not want something more for someone than they are willing to show up for it themselves.
Because
And
ultimately, they have to do the work.
they have to. I mean, no one
We
has
can't
stepped in. I've never had a mentor who stepped in to do my push-ups for me.
has pretzeled themselves around.
Not at all, because it's not like they wouldn't have been able to do that. That's not their job.
It's not appropriate.
And so yet when we have that set point of like, "Ooh, I'm here to overfunction for people," then it makes sense that people like that would become therapists, we'd become coaches, we'd become nurses, like in the helping industry. It makes perfect sense.
Well, okay, so if we're overfunctioning, then ultimately overfunction, we just keep on doing more, doing
Doing
more,
more,
doing
doing
more.
more.
Then we don't believe we are enough. So
Exactly.
we have to continue, like, when is enough ever enough?
Exactly.
When is enough ever enough?
And what is so wild about this is that because we live in like a self-correcting and perfect universe, that when, we have this need to be needed,
Yeah.
and so then we perfectly
Align with
magnetize
we totally
the
do.
takers out in the world that are just willing to. I mean, I've shared about like, a very narcissistic relationship that I was in that sucked the absolute life out of me
Yeah.
because he had a bottomless pit
Pit.
of need that, I never could have filled, but damn it, did I try for 3.5 years, did I try and fill this bottomless pit, this, like, black hole of need, and so those are the boundaries that I see both of us having really evolved into is, like, there's just no way. I will no longer self-abandon like that.
Yeah.
And it
Well
feels so good. It's like such a
it's
relief.
a breath
It
of
is
fresh
such a
air.
relief.
It's like,
Lord.
"Okay, I can take a deep breath."
Yeah.
And I will say, I had 2 marriages,
Mhm.
and I overfunctioned in both. I look back, and I was the one that was flying the ship,
Mm.
and that can be for a lot of different reasons. We don't have to go into all the details, but,
But even
um,
just to recognize that at that time, it served you to be flying the ship.
it did. Well, you talk about safety.
Yeah,
Everything's about safety.
totally.
As long as I could be the one
In control.
in control of flying that ship, then everybody was gonna stay up in the air,
I know.
not come
All the
crashing down
plates are still spinning in their orbit.
until everything did come crashing down.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually happens that way. So,
I've
um
been listening to I was in Los Angeles. I took a road trip back, or I did, a full round trip from Santa Fe to Los Angeles and back. And so on the way back, I was listening to a fantastic audiobook, Lessons in Chemistry,
mm,
which I know has been made into, I think it's a Netflix show. And it's all about housewives in the 60s and this incredible woman who becomes a chemist, and she just defies all of the odds, and she's really up against the patriarchy, and she's really up against all of these men that dismiss her, that don't take her seriously, that actually abuse her, that steal her work and call it their own. And as I've been listening to this incredible audiobook, I've just been thinking about, I mean, the story is really about all of these women, these housewives that were there holding the entire world up like Atlas on their back and given zero credit for anything. And they were dismissed. They were told that they weren't smart enough, that they had no value. And it just has made me reflecting on all of this of like that wasn't that long ago. This is still something that's
No, I
happening
mean
to this day.
oh, totally. I'm gonna say this is, like, not all that different, Kate,
It's really
today.
not.
It's just
Very
it's
little, like, actually has
no, it
significantly
just
changed in the
has
fabric of our society.
just a little different flavor
It
to it,
does.
and more of us may be rising up, I would say, because in the
100%.
'60s, I mean, that that would have been my mom.
Yeah. Raising kids.
There is definitely a different consciousness. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that within myself is a whole different consciousness. I can't speak for every woman on the planet.
But
but
really,
it's
we
much more common.
we as a sex have been expected to overfunction for the people in our lives. And so I think that just this conversation really it speaks to that of like every single woman that starts to reflect on this in her own life and actually be unwilling to do this. This is what it's changing the whole fabric of society from the inside out.
Well, I'm gonna say too that there is an expectation in our culture that women need to be a certain way, and it's really difficult that a mother
Mhm.
is a certain way, or I will say a grandmother
Right.
is a certain way, and I'm unapologetic about that.
Well, okay, hold that thought because
Okay,
let's dive on to
okay.
into the next question here, which I feel okay, I'm gonna switch up the questions because let's dive into that. That's a perfect dovetail into this. So, what's something about you that surprises people once they really know you?
That I'm not a typical 72-year-old woman.
I know. Really?
Thank thank the baby Lord Jesus. No, totally. And that there is expectation out there that or an assumption about what somebody at 72 is interested in and how they behave and what their role in society is.
Yeah.
And kind of like my role in society with some people is that at this point in my life, I'm retired and I'm happy just to go out to lunch with the girls and maybe even play cards. I think there's so
This is hysterical. To imagine any of this for you is like
no, it's
it's
crazy.
it's like anarchy. It's like
No,
ludicrous.
I know, really and truly, and just talk about, like, I don't know, surface things and I mean,
Little the neighborhood gossip.
I guess the neighborhood got I mean, I don't know what other 72-year-old women talk about because I don't but also as a grandmother.
Mm,
Like, so what is a grandmother actually what is the role of a grandmother? I love my grandson.
yes.
I adore him, but I want him to know me as, like, a badass grandmother, like, that I have a lot of life in me, and that I'm up to things, and I'm doing things, and I'm interested.
I think something that surprises people, I mean, maybe not, from, let's say, the podcast because they listen to you all the time and
Mhm.
hear your inner thoughts and
Sure.
desires, etc. But I think it is surprising to see a woman in, let's say, her seventh decade who is as ambitious as you are, that still has so much inside of you that you want to continue to grow and express and contribute in the world.
Well, the truth of it is that I wouldn't necessarily define that I'm ambitious.
Which is funny because you are extremely ambitious.
Maybe yeah, maybe I am, because it's almost like I'm not trying to climb any ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to what I
Prove anything.
prove anything.
No, I know you're
No,
not. I know
no,
that about
so
you.
that's not
You're
so
here to contribute because you're like, "I have so much inside myself that now, like, I figured out so many things that were so painful for so long, like, I can give this to other people."
I wanna be alive.
Mhm.
That's the ambition. I wanna be part of like, the conversations and, like, I don't
Yep.
wanna miss out on the fun. I love hanging out with younger people.
Yeah, you always have.
I always have
Yeah,
because they're interesting.
yep. Well, maybe it's more that you are actually here to be a leader. You're here to lead the
I wanna
pack.
show it's possible.
You wanna show what's possible.
I believe that all women can be their very best in every single decade. And that maybe what I'm really trying to say is that I think a lot of society and our culture has defined who you are at 40 and who you then are at 50 or 60 or 70 or
Right.
80. And so the expectation is that we aren't necessarily alive and fun at 70
Mhm.
or even in our 80s or interesting. And I'm here to say that we can live life fully in all of our decades.
I think what makes us interesting is in life is actually that we are interested in life,
I
in
agree.
learning, in growing. I think that's what makes us interesting.
I have a dear friend who's also in her seventh decade. And I remember the two of us, we knew each other in our 40s and then our 50s and our 60s, and now we're in our 70s. And she is really gotten into her artwork. And she's been able to because she previously in her 40s and 50s had to generate income to raise her kids,
Yeah.
be a mama. And, but now she's in her 7th decade and she just loves her artwork. And I love that for her.
Yeah.
And I love that for anybody in any decade to be able to express what it is that they truly love and not place the limitations of what society and culture deems
Totally.
appropriate for any
To
age.
stay engaged.
Just stay engaged, stay
Yeah.
full of life,
Totally.
participate,
Yep.
contribute to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kate, this is a question for you.
Mhm.
So, what's a way that our relationship
Mhm.
with each other
Mhm.
has evolved that you're really proud of?
I'm really proud of how our relationship in general has evolved over our lifetime together. I feel like it really has changed shape a lot. And I think about this with there are a couple of people that I've had in my life in general over the years, and I love to look at how relationships evolve together. That it doesn't even necessarily mean that they've evolved completely in the same direction, but that
Mhm.
like that they're both moving forward. And I think that when I look at the relationships in my life that have fallen off, it's because they really stopped evolving, that like maybe the other person kind of just they weren't really interested in more evolution. And so it just naturally came to a conclusion.
Mm,
And something that I love about how our relationship has evolved is obviously how much we both value our growth and evolution as individuals and together.
mhm,
When I was growing up, you were definitely mom. Like you were definitely flying the plane. And something that I think we've talked about here on the podcast before is that as I started becoming a young woman, you definitely gave me so much respect that I don't necessarily,
mm,
I think it can be hard to hand over the power and the control inside of a mother-daughter relationship to the young girl. Like, I see a lot of moms that kinda wanna hold on to that, and I feel like
mm,
you definitely you gave me the oxygen and the space to actually grow. I mean, even, like,
mm.
times sort of pushing me out in front, like, when you totally could have handled the situation and I didn't quite know what I was doing,
It's kinda like,
and
"Fly, little
"Fly,
birdie,
little
fly,
birdie,
fly."
fly." And I'm so grateful
Mm,
to those moments. I mean, I remember when I, in high school, went to go get serving jobs, like, working at I worked at a high-end restaurant in Santa Fe that was, like, super busy in the summer,
mhm.
La
And
Casa Cena.
classy,
It was very
totally
classy.
classy, and it was qui kind of a big deal that you had that
It
job.
was kind of a big deal,
Yeah.
or it felt like a big deal when I got the job, and I was like a busser, but I learned a lot about myself, and I developed a lot of skill sets that I felt really good with, but I remember you, like, coaching me how to I think I may have called on the phone to find out if they were hiring, and then I had to go in for the interview, and, like, you coached me around all of that because I had no idea what I was doing, and I remember being so unbelievably nervous,
Yeah, I remember
and
that
and
too.
so, you were definitely helping to develop skill sets in me, and then I think, over the years, obviously when I lived in Italy and I had a lot of agency that I created over that time, moving to another country and living there for 5 years. And then when we started our business together, something, I know it was a conscious choice that it was Kate and Judy Moon. It wasn't Judy and Kate Moon.
Yeah,
Like you actually kind of decided that without even telling me.
I know,
We've talked about
I
that,
know, I know.
that
Yeah.
you didn't want me to be in your shadow.
No, I didn't, and I've known other moms
Yeah.
who kinda kept that relationship as the mom,
As a
as a
hierarchy.
hierarchy. No, I do remember that, and I one thing I wanna remind you of, remember the years of before you learned how to, like, really write essays and write papers?
I still have PTSD around all of this. Oh
I
my
know,
lord.
remember that? Yeah.
Well, we would sit down together and you'd, like, help me outline stuff and, write the introduction and it
And
was
what would you I mean, to just give you the guidance, but then have that be your words.
if only we knew then that this was setting the stage for us, writing mailers in our
I know.
business and, marketing things later on. You just never know how it's all gonna add up, guys.
You just don't know how it's gonna add up.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things, Kate, that I'll say that I'm proud of
Yeah.
that we've done, that we have grown and evolved and respected one another along the way and able to be this hierarchy. To me, it's more like we are just two equal women
Women.
together.
Yep.
And yet I'm still your mom and you are my daughter,
Yeah.
and that the roles sometimes are kind of reversing a little bit, that as I do get older,
Yeah.
and you're the, quick whippersnapper, that you are kind of taking the lead in a lot of ways. Not yeah. I mean, what do you
When we
think?
were in Italy,
Yes.
a very close friend of ours who has known both of us for a long time was witnessing our relationship. And one thing that was so cute, we were all driving in the car together and you and I were talking and he listens to the podcast and he was like, "My God, it's like literally being in a live podcast with the two of you." He's like, "You really are this way all the time. This isn't something you're putting on for the podcast." It was so funny. It was so cute. But he said to me after witnessing us a little bit, he was like, "It's really cute. You kind of play the mom sometimes now." And it would make sense.
Especially in Italy
I was
when I
gonna
don't
say
speak the
it makes
language.
sense, he was witnessing us, Italy is much more my comfort zone. I speak Italian, mostly, and we're out and about, and I'm kinda corralling, and I know the metro, and I know, the coffee shops, and I'm the one ordering the food, so, of course, he would see me in that role where I'm kind of playing mom in that way, but he was like, "It's so cute," he just got really was reflecting on our relationship and how, very sweet it was, and it was like, "Oh, I'm just in our relationship,
It's
so I don't
natural
even
for you.
it's so normal." I just didn't even really notice that, and it was really sweet.
I remember the first time we ever went to Italy. You were in college. You had completed your 2nd semester, yes, of college, and you had taken
One semester of
1
Italian
semester of Italian, and we landed in a coffee shop in
near
a
Campo dei Fiori
oh,
in the center of Rome.
and I remember because you had 1 semester,
She just, shoves me.
I literally just kinda put you order our coffee. I know. And then the rest is history.
The rest is
Yeah,
history. So I feel honestly how our relationship has evolved very organically and naturally is something I'm extremely proud of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud of the fact that we really highly respect one another and we're really good friends, that we really have a ton of fun together.
Yeah.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
And I guess that, it's been easy for us, but we've also done some certain things that have created that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a final question.
All right. What's the final
And
question for today?
it can be for both of us, but I
Sure.
want you to answer it.
Okay.
So, Kate, what is your go-to way to reset when you're in a funk? If you ever are in a funk.
Well, I can get in a funk.
I know.
Oh, for sure. I know.
I know. We all can.
So for sure, it's always get outside.
Yeah.
And I know that's yours too. So it's
Mhm.
get on a mountain
Yep.
or go take a walk. But it can also be pull out the vacuum. I don't know if this is a moon woman thing. I know that your mom would always do the same thing.
Oh,
You do it.
she get down and wash the kitchen floor
Wash the kitchen floor. I'm
on
pull out the vacuum.
on her hands and knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this one time with my flatmate, Linda, in Rome. She came in the house and I had moved the couch and I'm bent over the couch with the wand of the vacuum and I'm getting all of the little cobwebs and she's like, "What happened?
Yeah.
What did he do?" So we always had this joke of wash that man right out of your hair. So it's the whole yeah, you just the best way is to if when your life is out of control, go clean something. Go
Go
bring order
clean
to the
something.
chaos.
You gotta move your body.
You gotta move your
You gotta
body.
move the energy.
You do.
Yeah.
And you always feel better.
Totally,
So
totally.
what about you?
Well, I'm known for vacuuming as well.
It's weird. It's almost like I may have picked that up or
Maybe,
something.
oh, I don't know. And I used to hike Atalaya.
Yep, yep.
I haven't for like a month now.
I know. If you heard the last episode, Jude's took a pretty
Dive.
significant dive, a tumble down
Yeah,
Atalaya.
yeah. No, actually, for me to move my body and to really work through it, that's always really helped. But one of the things I'm thinking too, Kate, is that one of the things that we do well with
Mm,
each other is to actually change our thinking. That when we notice that something doesn't feel like I'm kind of in kind of a mindset like
there's a disturbance in the
there's a
force.
disturbance in the force, that what do I really know to be true?
Yeah,
And to turn it around.
yeah,
I mean, and it depends on what the funk is. If I'm
totally,
feeling, something is not working out and actually ask myself, what can I do actually in this moment? It can,
totally.
it can be changing my mind. What do I actually really love about this?
I was just gonna say
That,
that that is a question
yes.
that we've asked each other and ourselves, and
Mhm.
we ask our clients
We
this
ask our
all the
clients.
time. This is a hard one when
It
things are
is.
like everything's falling apart
Or
and
it
or
looks
they
like it's falling
yeah,
apart.
feels like it's falling apart or we feel like shit about something to ask ourselves, "So what do I love about this?"
What do I really love about this?
If you actually allow yourself to sit in that, not just like give that thought the middle finger, which
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in that much of a funk, like you kind of like nothing. There's just nothing good about
Yeah.
this.
But you know what I would say? The first thing is, this is causing me to grow.
I know.
This is
God
causing
damn
me
it.
to look at things differently, to expand my vessel,
Mhm.
and to take responsibility for like, okay, I can change this.
Right.
What do I really love about this? It's reminding me that I am the one in the driver's seat.
Right.
I'm the one flying the plane here.
Right.
I can make some corrections,
Yep.
course corrections, and and just that sense of empowerment,
Yeah.
getting out of the victim place.
Totally.
That and then it shifts. It shifts the energy enough to then begin to be thinking more in the positive. What could be possible here?
Totally. And we all get into that victim place. I mean, the truth of it is that every single one of us, no matter how evolved we are one thought away from a victim mentality
Yeah,
at any given
at any
moment.
given moment.
But the key is like have the pity party, but it's always about and you and I do this is a practice that we've had for years and years is like shift it into okay, what can I do? And sometimes, and this is also something that you would talk to me and Matthew about when I was growing up is like sometimes all you need is like
A
to go to
good night's
bed. You
sleep.
just got to go to sleep. You need a good night of sleep and then you wake up the next morning and everything feels different.
Everything
Everything
feels
feels so
different.
much more possible.
Well, you sure don't want to have that downward turn in the middle of the night, because in
Which
the
well,
middle
that
of the
also
night,
happens.
like about 3 o'clock in the morning, nothing looks good at 3 o'clock in the
Nothing
morning.
looks good.
So you just have to get back to sleep or
I know. Yeah, make
yeah,
it through.
make it
And
through.
everything looks better in the light of day.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah,
You got to get vertical.
totally. But you and I, something that is a big part of our lives is physical movement. I love to dance. We both love to hike. You do yoga.
Yeah.
This is a whole other conversation, but both of us really need to commit to weightlifting,
This
to
is a
strength
whole other
training. This
conversation.
will be a conversation.
It will be a
But
conversation.
that's one of those that like is not even close to a habit for either of us, and that's got
And
to
I
change.
have resisted it like the plague.
I know.
But I'm actually kind of excited about it. I've changed my mind about it.
Right.
Because I'm going to be a badass in my 70s, strong.
I don't think anyone is going to fight you on that one.
I know. But
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
it
I'm
is.
seeing it as
Yeah,
a new
I
challenge.
love that. Yeah,
You starting early.
I'll be 40 in less than 6 months.
Less than
Jesus take
6
the wheel.
months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an interesting milestone.
it is.
But yeah,
To imagine that I have a 40-year-old daughter
dude, you almost have a 50-year-old
and
son.
I almost have a 50-year-old son. That makes me sound old.
It's weird.
I don't like that.
That doesn't track with the self-image at all. Anyway,
Anywho,
So that is all for today with our Q&A with K&J. If you
send us any
send
questions
questions.
because it makes it kind of fun for us to have a playful
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, we enjoy doing this
You do.
every now and again. We'll definitely do more in the future. We'll see you in the next episode.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Thank you so much for listening to The Becoming.
We'd love for you to join our growing community. Please subscribe to the podcast, share this episode with a friend, and leave a 5-star review.
It truly means the world to us and helps others to find their way here too. We'll see you in the next episode.